Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed if you are. If you're not, go ahead, hit that button. And if you are listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. Let's get into this podversation. I thought this was interesting, so I wanted to share it with you guys. But recently, Kelly Osbourne, she has been a host on The Talk. She is the daughter of Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne. Was she a host on The Talk? Shoot, I don't even remember, but I believe her mom was. And she shared some thoughts recently on a podcast. She was on this podcast being interviewed. The name of the podcast is called I've Had It, and I will put a link to this podcast in the description box if you want to go and check out the entire episode. But she shared some thoughts recently because she was asked. She wasn't just out here sharing her opinion, just wanting to let everybody know how she feels about Prince Harry. But she was asked because she is from the UK and she was on this podcast, and they just wanted to get her thoughts on King Charles and Prince Harry. And she shared some things that I really thought was interesting. So I really want to I want you to listen to this. I want to share it and get your thoughts because she was pretty much unfiltered. So just mind the language. If you are averse to it, just try to overlook it. But she has some thoughts and feelings on Prince Harry that I really thought was interesting because I know that there are a lot of people that feel like almost everyone in the UK, they love Prince Harry and they hate Meghan, and they just feel that Meghan is the cause of everything, but Harry, he can do no wrong. And even what they may see as him doing wrong, they're willing to overlook it if he will just be done with Meghan and come back to the UK, come back to the royal family and reclaim your spare title. You know what I mean? But I listened to this and I was like, wow. So I want you guys to listen to the thoughts and views and opinions that she had on Prince Charles because I really thought that it was interesting. So I'm going to play this clip and continue with my commentary.
Okay. King Charles and Queen Camilla.
Hit it.
You hit it?
I'd hit it. It's new. It's different. Let them try it out. See what they can make of it. Definitely King Charles. I don't know much about Camilla. I always thought she would remain queen consort. It's weird that she's queen.
He's loved her forever. He loved her before Diana.
I know, and that's something that...
He was forced. My problem with Charles is not Camilla. He's loved her forever. His family made him marry somebody differently.
I agree with that.
My problem with Charles is you have a son. You have a son. I have a son. I don't care what my fucking son did. If I was getting crowned he would sit in the very front row.
I don't agree with that.
I think Harry should have been sent back.
I think Harry's a fucking twat. I do. I think he's a fucking twat. He's a whining, whinging, complaining, woe is me. I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems. Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's fucking life is hard. Yeah, you were the prince of a goddamn country who dressed up as a fucking Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it. No.
It's a very strong case.
I love it.
I think, you make such a great case in that colorful British accent and the twat.
The twat.
Which twat, what you said is past tense.
Yeah, twat sounds like the past tense of twat to me.
Okay. Twat. We
got to start practicing.
I'm going to go. You made a very strong case.
Thank you.
I'm going to move over.
Reconsider.
To your side. I am. I'm going to join you. Okay. Had it or hit it, TMZ.
There's like a middle ground for that because some of the times I love what they do and report on and the way that they get to it. But when it comes on you, you're like,
right.
You're like, fuck off.
All right, so you pretty much heard that, and you even heard a little bit more about something that this conversation isn't even about, which is TMZ. But she pretty much hit the nail on the head with some of the thoughts that I have shared about Prince Harry in terms of this book that he wrote, Spare, and the Netflix docuseries that he and Meghan did. And, initially, at first, some people may just want to hear what he had to share, right? But the more you've heard about the Spotify deal not, moving forward, that being dropped, that they were called lazy grifters, not just Meghan being called a lazy grifter. They called both of them lazy grifters. And then now to hear Kelly Osbourne come out and share her views on Prince Harry, talking about how he's just whining and complaining, and you've had a really great life in comparison to a lot of people. It's the truth. Whether you wanted to be in this family or not, you're the prince of a freaking country where a lot of people even feel like, why do you all even exist? Who tells you that you're better than everyone else? Why should you be able to live a life where you are taken care of and you're able to live so wealthy off of the backs of so many people, as well as make it seem like you're just so charitable and you're so giving, and you have risked your life in Afghanistan fighting in wars? Well, so has my husband. My husband is dealing with PTSD right now, and nobody's rewarding him anything for that. We're just having to go through it. We're having to deal with it. And I'm not sitting here and I'm complaining about it. But she made a good point. He once wore a Nazi uniform where I guess it was supposed to be a joke, but now he wants to come off as if he's almost like the Pope, reincarnated, reborn, born again, saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just kidding. But not to say that people can't change their minds and you can't be a different person today than you were when you were a teenager. We hope that you absolutely would be. But yet and still, it doesn't take away the fact that these things were done. And now you want to flip it and write in your book or say to people that actually William, your brother, was the one that convinced you to do it, and you wore it for William and Kate, and they laughed at it like it was a joke. Not speaking about the fact that you wore this, you're condemning the fact that you did it. It was wrong. I never should have done it. No, you wanted to put off on your brother and his wife that they were the ones that convinced you to do it, and they laughed at it, and you want to pretty much make them look like they're racist, and they loved it, and you really felt like you were forced to do it, but you absolutely didn't want to do it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. So to hear Kelly talk about this, I thought it was absolutely hilarious, but I also feel that she was just speaking the truth of how she feels, and how I do believe that there are a lot of other people who do feel that way. But when it comes to the so-called hate that they like to call it, it just seems as if they make it seem like people just hate Meghan, but they really love Harry, when Harry isn't innocent. He isn't. And so I thought it was interesting. I really would love to know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, because I didn't detect any lies. I really do believe that a lot of people agree with what she had to say, even with regards to King Charles now, not Prince anymore, but King Charles and Camilla, because a lot of people hate him because he is with Camilla when he previously was with Diana, but he really was forced to be in that situation and to marry her when that wasn't really his first choice. And as much as Harry and Meghan and even other people tried to put it off on the paparazzi that they're the reason that Diana is no longer here, people need to remember that even though it was a tragic situation, Diana's boyfriend, his driver, was at fault because he was driving recklessly, speeding away, trying to get away from the paparazzi. If it wasn't handled in that way, that woman would still be here. So the paparazzi wasn't chasing them and pulling out guns and shooting at their vehicle and caused them to crash, and bullet holes riddled the vehicle. And that's not what happened. The driver was driving recklessly, but unfortunately this happened, and you have to blame somebody. So they blame the paparazzi for being the cause of the accident, but it really should have been handled differently. And the driver was reckless. They all were reckless, but it really should have been handled a different way. So he's taking out today his aggression, his anger, and all of those different things on the paparazzi today because of the tabloids and the stories that have been put out there about he and Meghan, because he still has this grudge, rightfully so, about his mom no longer being here. Definitely understood him being angry about his mom losing her life. But ultimately, the paparazzi did not take his mother's life. Yes, indeed, they were reckless. Yes, indeed, things should have been handled differently, and they should not have been chasing the car down. But the driver of the vehicle that Diana was in, they should not have been driving in that way, because ultimately it was the driver of her vehicle. It should have been doing things differently. So a lot of the things that he is doing right now, I get it, but I do believe a lot of it is misplaced anger. And he definitely has lived a very privileged life. And although no one envies him losing his mother, yet and still, you still have had a much better life than so many other people will ever have here on this earth. So just like Kelly has said, you're whining and complaining about life is hard. So is almost everyone else's. So I loved it. So you guys can let me know your thoughts respectfully in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth. I'm just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.